Have you ever heard of the fantastic adventures of xDick on the Dongo console? Well, today I'm here to talk to you about a renaissance of anonymous video game style music boasting a grab bag with contributions from any underground producer that decides to become a part of the world of xDick. Jada Peta on YouTube, real name Jada Page, began the YouTube channel in August of 2019 and created the cover art for the game that was made for a console called the Dongo.
Nice.
Now, the Dongo doesn't exist, but that doesn't matter. Using the intrigue that lost media evokes in the minds of people on the internet, mixed with the collaborative fun of allowing anyone that wants to think up a funny phallic-related level name and make a piece of music to accompany it, and also allow anyone to create their own 2D or 3D art of our charismatic hero xDick, or Super Dick in the Japanese release. This merging of artistic worlds and memes has created a treasure trove of vintage-style video game music for us to look at today. So sit back as we check out some of the music being made for this collaborative lost media meme soundtrack project. Jada Peta's first video being Travis Scott Go Pee-Pee, we knew from the very beginning that we were in for a treat. But about 9 months ago, it seems like Jada Peta had their first galaxy brain idea. I'm guessing she created this cover art. She created this cover art almost as an ARG at first, trying to make it seem like this video game, ooh, we just found some music for it. Ooh, I wonder where that was found at. So you get that lost media, you get that air of lost media immediately for the first xDick video, and let's just check out some of this music and see what's up. So lots of great promotional material here. I mean, it really makes it seem, I mean, right off the bat, they had like multiple images that make it seem like it's, really grounds it in reality. Fucking gamermoms.com. A very Ape Escape sounding stuff. Very crunched quality. It sounds like it got ripped right off a floppy disk. Fantastic Adventures of xDick, known as Super Dick no Boken. The Adventure of Super Dick in Japan, The Fantastic Adventures of xDick, is a platformer that was supposed to be released by Dongosoft and developed by P-Bork Interactive for the Dongo console in the late 1990s. The game was canceled in '98, but disgrunted? Pretty sure that's supposed to be disgruntled. Disgruntled, yeah, gotta fix this wiki. But disgruntled retailers sold copies they bought in an act of defiance. Despite its technical innovation and cult following, this game is widely regarded as a misunderstood gem, partly due to poor global translation, canceled release, its title, and the esoteric nature of the Dongo console itself. Very esoteric. Now let's see what they made yesterday. This came out just yesterday, Dick Engine xDick Demo 1.avi. Immediately love the PS1 pad chords here, very jungle. Amazing 3D art. I mean, this really adds to it, not gonna lie. Amazing stuff. Let's check out The Sidewalk. This came out 10 days ago.
I hope the person ahead doesn't think I'm following them.
You're following me. The police are already on their way.
No! Bad end. Hey man, go follow Jada Page's Patreon, guys, and make some xDick music. Make some xDick music, guys. The game's protagonist, xDick, one of the placeholder NPC models. So is it players control xDick? I thought his name was xDick. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The shape-shifting protagonist navigating a fantastical world with various biomes and unique challenges. The game's standout mechanic was the ability to swap between different abilities on the fly, allowing players to solve. It's very vague. Allowing players to solve puzzles and combat enemies in creative ways. However, many players found the mechanics overly complex and confusing at the time. Co-op gameplay was surprisingly advanced for its era, with the ability to seamlessly join and leave sessions. Fans who persevered through its challenges praised the underground levels for their intricacy and the final boss for its sheer difficulty. Those have considered it unfairly punishing. And there's also NubQuest. So NubQuest is a second version of this, which is also a game that was on the dongo, and people are also making unreleased music for NubQuest, so... I've always loved video game music. I find that it like tells a story without using lyrics, and this just has this like tropical adventure vibe, like, you know, totally fantastic. I mean, I love OST music. I mean, you know, people say it's coworker music, but honestly, the video game OSTs has some amazing tracks. The story takes place in the year 2469. Aliens have kidnapped xDick boyfriend Randy, and he has to stop them. The main antagonist of the game, Dick Sex. So the antagonist, our charismatic antagonist, seems to have different names for, you know, many different names. xDick, Dick Sex, xDick, who is assumed to be a rival to xDick. Oh, the main antagonist is Dick Sex. Okay, I get it. Who's assumed to be the rival of xDick. The Fantastic Adventures of xDick underwent significant changes during its localization for a global audience. The original version was far more grounded in tone, following a traditional hero's journey narrative, with only occasional humorous moments. By contrast, the global release reimagined the protagonist, xDick, as a cartoonish slapstick character in the manner of reminiscent games like Crash Bandicoot or Earthworm Jim. These changes was a result of P-Bork Interactive's uncertainty about how to market such an obscure title to a broader audience. Rather than attempting to preserve the more serious aspects of the story, the localization leaned heavily into comedic reinterpretation. This shift gave rise to many of the game's infamous features, including the now iconic Game Over screen labeled Dick Over. While humorous in hindsight, this screen has been described by fans as a perfect storm of early localization blunders. And there's also tons of different 3D projects that Jada does on this channel. It's the Do You Work Here, a Milk Bar, which looks like a great 3D animation.
Barkeep, can I get another round?
Okay, listen, kid. You've been here since 5 p.m. I'm gonna have to cut you off.
What do you mean?
Look, kid.
The idea of making an old school 3D animation of a baby getting 86'd at a milk bar for being too fucked up on milk. Very. I mean, it's a hilarious idea.
I'm sorry, but it's just.
I did not do.
I would feel very irresponsible.
I didn't do anything wrong.
You're on your 9th bottle, kid. Where are your parents? Alright, you are getting completely out of line. Give me your keys. Seriously. No. You can't act that way and expect me to not say something. Give me your keys.
Give me your keys to your baby car. Yeah, dude, it's lots of insane and great stuff on here. Absolutely fantastic work from all these people. I mean, it's fantastic. Despite these tonal differences, the core gameplay remained largely unchanged. However, fans of the Iranian release often I thought it wasn't released. Often lament. So the ARG qualities leaves a little bit to be desired. It seems like even in the same wiki article, it's kind of messing up the lore here. lament the loss of the more serious narrative and thematic depth. This duality between the original and localized versions has contributed to the game's cult status, as players continue to compare the two experiences. Right, you got a lot of lore here. Safar Borzorg Sampatsdiak, The Great Journey of xDick.
I have sex with my dick. I have sex with my dick. I use my cock to have sex, and my dick is having sex. Get my dick wet using the dongle console. I gotta save my boyfriend. I gotta save my boyfriend. Yeah. How the hell am I gonna have sex if I don't save my boyfriend from dick sex? Sex dick on my cock, you know?
Very jazzy. Very jungle jazz adjacent stuff. It's definitely one of my favorites here that we've heard today. We got a hard cut there. Supadic no Boken, Adventures of Super Dick. Hungarian. Basofaz Fantasticus Kalanjai. Literal translation of the international title. Yeah. So I'm almost 100% sure in the intro I told you that this is a collaborative effort, that JadaPeta gets people be sending this person's stuff to upload as xDick. And also I see a lot of other random YouTube channels uploading their underground vintage game music as xDick and using the art that's from JadaPeta's. So yeah, it is a collaborative effort. There's a lot of people making music for xDick here, and I find it really like a real rich idea. It's nice for some artists to be able to release their stuff under a pseudonym, and for something that's not like as serious as their, like, say their solo album or something. Say you got like say you just wanted to make something that day and you made a vintage video game beat. You're like, oh, this would be perfect. I can release it under xDick, and then boom, you're a part of the xDick lore, and it's just I feel like it's a really rich idea, and it really helps a lot of people make stuff that they probably wouldn't have, and it enriches the whole lore of it. Hard cut on the loop there. Now let's check out some xDick OSTs made by other YouTube channels, some other contributors to the lore here. This dick has sex. Oh yeah, this is definitely like this might be taking first place from the previous one. I mean, this is great vintage music right here. Woo! God damn!
Time to realize never is enough. Time to realize.
Unknown level footage with sound. I mean, look at the intuitive gameplay, dude. People have really created something pretty special here. Like, you know, like just this animation alone. It's so low quality, but it's just so like, you know, people who, you know, aren't like versed in ARGs and stuff would probably look at this and be like, oh my god, was the game actually real? You know, like, you know, I see a lot of the interviews, there's a lot of interviews with, Finding the Fantastic Adventures of Sex, like this interview where even the interviewers keep the air of reality with it, that this was a real game, and I, you know, it kind of does make me feel a little bit bad about making the video solely around it being an ARG type meme, but, you know, I feel like that was the best way to get my thoughts on it across, because if I just acted like it was real, then, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to say as much as I'm saying right now, but I would have to just be like, well, I never played it, but, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you guys decide to, you know, work on some xDick music, you know, I'd implore you to keep with the lore and try not to, you know, out it as such a, you know, as such. Let's check out one more from Lux, and then we'll leave it to you guys to check out more xDiff stuff. Monday Night Raw for Clitoris Capital. My favorite level was Clitoris Capital. God damn it. This one's a little bit less crunchy than the others. Oh shit, oh shit, oh. This game will ultimately get made. I'll play it on stream if it gets made, actually. Growing up, my family and I would visit my older cousin's place sometimes, and one day while visiting when I was around 6, I saw her playing the game with her boyfriend. She probably wouldn't call herself a gamer, but she always liked going to flea markets and picking up old console and games, and xDick and the Nongo were one of them. It looked interesting. They even let me play it for a bit, maybe 30 minutes, but I didn't make it very far. I got some help from my cousin, but even she couldn't make it that far in the game. It was very difficult, as I remember. Though, for the record, I did ask the she if she still had her copy of xDick or the Dongo machine, and she said, unfortunately lost both of them during a move a long time ago. xDick takes on a robot bad guy, possibly in league with the game's dastardly villain, Dick Sex. From what you can see, what is this xDick's journey? What did players of the past have to do in this game? From what I remember from back then, the game's story takes place hundreds of years into the future, with xDick having this confrontation with the game's central antagonist, Dick Sex, who kidnaps your partner, making you go and rescue him. One of the main enemies you'd have to deal with were these robots that shot projectiles at you, and you'd have this time to force field to move to bounce the bullets back at them. If I'm being honest, it was kind of finicky and felt a little underutilized. The game was pretty barren, come to think of it. That might have just been the version I played, though. Can you tell us about the music of the xDick world? The music is very fitting to the game's tone. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's also space-like and futuristic. The game itself is kind of dystopian, but in this very tongue-in-cheek way. And yeah, I don't know who made the music. No one does, in fact. See, I like this. I'm hoping we find out who composed it soon. It's super well done and feels definitely xDick in my opinion. Yeah. So we got these interviews with Jada Peta, who seems to just, you know, be keeping up the lore and stuff like that. And I know there was one. Yeah, Substack. So this is a interview with somebody with developer Paul Bosoms takes us behind the scenes of developing the most impressive game for the Dongo video game console. And here's a high-quality version of the xDick art. So I'm guessing that developer Paul Bosoms is definitely JadaPeta in pseudonym. A few weeks ago, a YouTube account by the name of JadaPeta uploaded one of the songs from the video game The Fantastic Adventures of xDick. To many, it was a mystery, but to others, it was a nostalgic welcome. xDick was a 3D platformer video game released on the Dongo, short-lived video game system during the 1990s. The Dongo was one of the most technically impressive systems of its time, appear at the Winter Consumer Electric Show of 1994, but with a booth so small that hardly anyone paid attention to it. Upon release, the Dongo was ill-received. High costs led to high prices, and high performance led to consoles so hot that some reported burns. Quickly, the Jago was forgotten, only to become a curiosity of avid video game historians. Along with the Dongo, xDick also fell into obscurity while a copy has yet to surface to the public eye. Promotional images, footage, and music have slowly been getting uncovered. Hence the uncovered is just, submissions from random people who wants to make xDick music. So I find this really, I find it really cool, in my opinion. Along with the Dongo, xDick also fell, blah, blah, blah. Where is xDick and where did it come from? To help the answer to the question, I spoke with xDick developer Paul Bosoms over email. Paul wasn't easy to find, only discovering him in an old issue of VidBytes from 1992 that had touched on the Dongo's development as well as P-Bork's early development on xDick. After finding an archive on his Angel Fire page, I was able to finally get in touch with him and ask questions that I've been dying to ask. Yes, so we got this AI photo of Mr. Bosom here. What was the inspiration behind xDick? We were actually asked to make a game that people at by the people at Dongo. They wanted a good competitor to Crash, Sonic, Mario as the way to sell their console. I'm not sure what inspired the look of xDick, but I believe the mohawk came from the gas station clerk who saw near the studio. Yeah, so we got Mario, we got Sonic, we got Crash Bandicoot, and then we got xDick. And he would have been one of the top mascots, to be honest. He would have been if the game was ever released, but also released at the same time in other country. I'm not sure how the lore works, but the story takes place in the year 2049. Aliens take over the planet. They kidnap your boyfriend, and nobody really talks about this. xDick was one of the first gay video game characters. Oh, I love it. It's so funny, dude. Not really on my end of the job, but I knew the programmers had a tough time with the Dongo hardware. Apparently wasn't very user-friendly at all and got so hot you could cook bacon on top of it. xDick has had a recent revival. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, thanks to JadaPeta. Finding the music. Questionable but otherwise incredible. I'm very surprised to see this game resurfaced. I haven't thought about the game in years. It's not my finest work, but it's a nice piece of history, I suppose. Were there any limitations with the hardware of the Dongo? They were one-of-a-kind shaders that just weren't possible on any other hardware. However, optimizing them to run at a steady frame rate was very difficult. We had a lot of compressing and things like that to get it running. The soundtrack has a cult following. Yeah. See? What was the direction like for xDick's music? Frankly, we had kind of a weak direction outside of some concept art and suggestions from the higher-ups. The composer for the game, good friend of mine, he asked the people at Dongo what they wanted, and they just said everything that JadaPeta has done to create this world where anybody can contribute to a lost media ARG. They can send any of their vintage music that they've been making under the composer unknown label and put xDick Adventures of xDick OST on it. I think it's one of the coolest things I've seen in collaborative music making in a long time. I really think that I just think it's fucking cool. Okay, I just think it's fucking great that people can use pseudonyms to release the music that they didn't really want to release under their own name. I find a lot of people in this artist sphere are sometimes a little bit, apprehensive to release their music under their own name. So just giving them this outlet of xDick to release their underground vintage sounding stuff is just, it's fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome. Long live xDick. and we're all gonna defeat dick sex and get our boyfriends back. Okay, all right, you know what I'm saying? All right, so that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for coming through. Please, I implore you to go check out Jada Page's YouTube channel and follow her Patreon and contribute your own music to this awesome underground collaborative journey that these people are going on. And definitely check out the description. I got all my socials in there. You can check out all my other content, and I make a lot of music production content myself, actually, but haven't made any xDick music yet. But yeah, please, I implore you to check out all this stuff. My socials are in the description, and please like and subscribe if you like the video. Please, and leave a comment on what you think about the awesome Dongo console and the xDick character. And I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much.